Now at 6, we honor Christian Heady and how the fight against cancer isn't finished. Plus a celebration for our veterans in Lamar. And a look at the final preparations of Queen Elizabeth's funeral.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The inaugural Christian Heady celebration took place today at King Jack Park. This is your KOAM News at 6. I'm Jalen Banks. We honor Christian Heady today, son of Doug Heady, who had a long battle against cancer. And KOAM's Carrie Worthen shows us how Christians' fight against the disease continues today.
It's sad that kids can have cancer, but it's fun that we can come here to support them and get them through all the hard times.
Today is the inaugural Christian Heady Foundation celebration. The event raises money for kids going through their battle with cancer and their families, as well as a celebration of Christian Heady, who is an inspiration to many.
So the whole principle behind this is honoring him by passing on all of the good things that the community did to honor him, support him, love him, carry us as a family through our whole cancer journey.
Among some of the kids that joined in on the fun are the Golden Warriors. They are all campers at Camp Quality. Camp Quality is a year-long support program for children with cancer.
For us, we love seeing our kiddos just out there being kids, having fun, but also just to be here to support the Headys, support their mission. Cancer is a horrible thing, but once you're in the family, you're in, and we're all in this together. We're all in the fight together. So to be here is an absolute honor for us. They just love it. Our pitcher, Harrison, his words were, this is the best day of my life.
People of all ages came together for a 5K and 1 mile fun walk. Teams also gathered for a friendly competition of cornhole and kickball.
Cornhole is all about just having a good time and bringing people together, and it's a great opportunity to come out here and raise money for this organization and raise awareness for the childhood cancer and Doug Heady's son.
A balloon release was held in honor of Christian, and live bands, food trucks, and silent auction is just a few things that went on at the event. Also, winners of each event received a prize.
We have been honored and deeply humbled by the community's love for Christian, but for our family. Unfortunately, a lot more people are going to go through this, and I wish we could change that, but we're going to be there to support them. And so that's what this event means. That's what the community means to us, is that nobody's going to have to do this alone. So thank you, thank you, thank you. The 4 states.
In Webb City, Carrie Worthen, KOAM News.
Man, thank you to everyone that went out and supported and continue to fight. And if you would like to donate to the Christian Heady Foundation, you can find it on our website at koamnewsnow.com. The Barton County Memorial Park Board held a dedication ceremony for its recently completed memorial. The event will feature a Black Hawk helicopter, a performance from the Lamar High School Band, and flag raisings with officials from local posts of the American Legion and the VFW.
I think the goal here is to continue building and continue representing both the servicemen and women from the past and our future servicemen and women that serve this nation.
The memorial is located at West 2nd Street and Gulf in Lamar. Prairie Pathways today unveiled its newest BARC pathways in Iola, Pittsburgh, and Fort Scott. The bikers today met in Iola and rode to Pittsburgh, celebrating the new trail in each location. From there, the group rode to Fort Scott to host its ultimate ribbon cutting event.
My favorite part about events like this is bringing people together and celebrating and visiting with like-minded and talking about how we can make things better, enhancing quality of life for our communities.
Again, the news routes are from Iola to Fort Scott and from Pittsburgh to Fort Scott. Well, it's been nice today, and Sam Lane joins us with a first look at the weather.
Yeah, it's been a pretty nice day. If you didn't have a chance to get out and enjoy it, it was a pretty warm one, that's for sure. We do have some storms on radar, but they're up to the north and west. We had a severe thunderstorm warning earlier for Coffee County, and now we have a severe thunderstorm watch for parts of Kansas and Nebraska. That goes until midnight, and there's even some warnings going on right now just north and west of Salina. Here's the severe risk. You can see that tonight the best threat of severe weather is going to be up to the north and west. Really not expecting a whole lot in our area. The threat from tornadoes is low, also large hail and wind and heavy rain. And it looks like it's going to just barely clip the northwestern sections of our viewing area. This afternoon it was very toasty out there with highs in the 90s, especially out to the west, where it got up to 95 in the Ville, 96 in Beeville, 95 in Fredonia, 94 in Fort Scott. It was pretty warm out there, and I'll be back in a minute to tell you how warm it's going to get in your forecast, so stay tuned.
Dunnewick hosted its D-Town Jamboree and celebration today for families to enjoy. The event featured the Jasper County Mounted Sheriff's Posse, as well as vendors, live music, food trucks, kid activities, and a beer garden. The mayor says celebrations like this brings the community together.
It gives us an annual opportunity at least to come out and gather and just be a community, talk to friends, enjoy the day, have a good time.
The event took place at the Dunnewick Fairgrounds located at 18700 Cedar Road. The 66th annual Prairie Days took place today in Liberal, Missouri. The event included multiple raffles, one which was a scholarship raffle. There was a photography contest, a quilt contest, and arts and crafts.
I think people come back, I think people come back to see each other. They do a lot of visiting, I do, and get to see people we haven't seen all year probably.
At the event, there was also a cornhole tournament. The city of Joplin will welcome across the country motorcyclists on Main Street as part of the cross-country chase. Motorcycles participating are vintage, and they must be between the years 1930 and 1960. A biker says there's a bond between man and vintage machines.
Because they love doing it. It's a motorcycle enthusiast thing, These guys will work on these bikes every night when they come in. They prepare for this event probably, I would say, at least 6 months to a year in advance, making sure that their bike is running, and that's what they do.
The bikers traveling across the country that stopped in Joplin had an hour lunch break in downtown. Security is tight across the British capital as world leaders and dignitaries begin arriving in London for Queen Elizabeth's funeral on Monday. As CBS's Terry Akita reports, the Queen's grandchildren are planning a special tribute tonight at the King's request.
King Charles and his siblings stood watch Friday night over the coffin of their mother, Queen Elizabeth, in a long-held royal tradition called the Vigil of the Princes.
They are amazing to be standing in front of their mother like that. But, oh gosh.
The King has asked William, the new Prince of Wales, along with his brother, Prince Harry, and their 6 cousins, to also stand vigil at their grandmother's coffin tonight. Near Windsor Castle, in the cover of darkness, a few mourners got a preview of Monday's military procession for the Queen's burial.
It's quite emotional. I think will be, on the day, really quite momentous.
Security is unlike anything the United Kingdom has ever seen. Police tackled this rollerblader who skated too close to King Charles's convoy. Not only is law enforcement having to protect the dozens of dignitaries who are coming to London, they're also having to monitor the tens of thousands of mourners who are waiting in line as long as 25 hours to pay their respects.
I felt compelled to be here, just had to be here. She served so faithfully.
It was just kind of one of those once-in-a-lifetime things, so I figured I would have to do it.
And do they think you're crazy for doing it back home?
No, they said I'd be crazy not to, just because it is like once-in-a-lifetime moment.
For the famous and everyday people who've braved the massive lines, they say it's worth the wait to witness history up close. Terry Okita, CBS News, London.
Tonight, King Charles and Camilla, the Queen Consort, will host a reception for other foreign royalty at Buckingham Palace. And we now take time to honor one of our 4-state heroes, Second-class Airman Arthur Hallman, a Scammon, Kansas native, served in the Air Force. He served in the Air Force from 1954 to 1958. He also played on the Air Force basketball team. To Second-class Airman Arthur Scammon, we thank you, our 4-state hero. Coming up, tips on how to better ease your crying infant. A new study looks at why men are more likely to suffer from hip fractures, and new research reveals the most effective method to calm crying babies. Michael George has this week's top health stories.
The number of hip fractures worldwide is expected to double by 2050, particularly for men and the elderly. Researchers at the University of Hong Kong say people are living longer and are getting frailer, and osteoporosis is also underdiagnosed in men. A new study finds the best way to calm a crying baby is walking while carrying the infant. A study in Japan found walking for just 5 minutes stopped the crying and lowered the baby's heart rate. Researchers also found that a short walk followed by sitting for 8 minutes was the best approach for putting a baby to sleep. Just sitting while holding babies failed to stop crying in most cases. And eating your meals during the day instead of at night could improve mental health. A study from Brigham and Women's Hospital found that nighttime eating increased depression by as much as 26%. Researchers say the data is especially important for shift workers, who often work odd hours and may experience a 25 to 40% higher risk of mental health concerns. Those are some of the week's top health stories. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Later, how and when purple tomatoes could be in a store near you.
And we're watching storms on radar up to the north and west, and I'll be back to tell you how hot it's going to get and if we have any rain in our forecast, so stay with us. Well, the official last weekend of summer on the calendar is fall starts on Thursday. It's been a hot one out there, and summer is not going away quietly. It's been pretty toasty across the region. You can see right now in Seneca, Missouri, clear skies, just a few high clouds streaming by and warm temperatures down there as well at the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Hope you're in the pool. All right, let's take a look at the weather almanac today. 93 was what we made it up to, only 2 degrees away from the record of 1953. 70 this morning was the low, which was way above normal. And of course, we've only had a little over 1/3 of an inch of rain so far this month. And if we keep this up, we could end up being the second driest September in Joplin history. Storm tracker radar does show some activity, but it's way out to the west. But notice what happens as this goes into motion, as it gets close to our area, all these showers just start to fall apart. We do have one cell up to the north and west, up near west of Burlington right now. There is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until midnight for parts of north central and northeastern Kansas, but that is away from us, and it looks like it's going to stay that way for at least the next day or so. All right, the allergies, 8.9 today, a little bit better tomorrow, 8.8 out of 12. So if you're suffering from the ragweed, that's an improvement at least. Temperatures right now are still in the 90s in many locations like Joplin with 90, Miami, Grove, Veneta, Nowat is still 92, 93 in Sedan. It's a little bit cooler if you want to call it cooler, 86 over there in Stockton. The dew points, they've been up as well, making it feel sticky out there with dew points in the mid-60s across our area. And on our dew point tracker, that means sticky conditions. So it's been feeling a little bit more uncomfortable out there this afternoon. 90 degrees right now in Joplin, feels like 91 because the dew point is 64, humidity 42%, and the pressure is currently falling. All right, your forecast for tonight, the models are forecasting some of these storms may sneak down into our northern areas, but that would be very lucky and very few people would actually see any storms. Generally lows in the 70s tonight. Then tomorrow the heat comes back once again, upper 90s out to the west, including Parsons with 96, also the Ville 96, 96 in Yates Center, 95 here in Joplin, and a little bit cooler off to the east with 90 over there in Monette. Then on Sunday night, we're going to see temperatures dropping into the 70s by Monday morning, and then Monday afternoon, this is just disgusting. Temperatures close to 100 degrees, once again out to the west, 99, a very popular number, 96, 97 even here in Joplin, only 1 degree away from the record. Then as we go into Tuesday, lows in the 70s on south winds. Your next 7 days, oh, I wish I didn't have to show this. 95 tomorrow, 97 Monday, 98 Tuesday, 97 on Wednesday, which actually would break the record, but a 10% chance of an isolated storm up to the north. Fall officially arrives on Thursday evening. We see temperatures dropping down into the 80s, but the models are still fighting is exactly what's going to happen with that. And then 91 for next Saturday. So it looks like summer is just not going to go away peacefully. Jaylen?
Yeah, not at all. I mean,
yeah.
Are we surprised with the summer that we've had?
Well, that's true. Yeah.
So to get a drastic drop in temp,
it'd be nice, but not likely.
Not at all. But all right. Thank you, Sam. Mm-hmm. And coming up in sports, both Pitt State and Missouri Southern hit the field at home tonight in Week 3. Plus, the Oklahoma Sooners aim for a 3-0 start on the road against former conference rival Nebraska. Jacob Leonard has those highlights and more next.
The Pittsburg State Gorillas hit the field at home tonight against Northeastern State. Now, the Gorillas are off to a hot start this fall. They're 2-0 and have entered the national rankings this week, sitting at number 16 in the country. Pitt State tries to stay rolling, facing the Riverhawks in their annual Family Day game. That one will get started at about 7 o'clock in Pittsburgh. We'll have highlights right here tonight at 10. The Missouri Southern Lions are 1-1 coming into the weekend. They try for back-to-back wins tonight at home against Central Oklahoma. That one actually already started, and at last check, it's a pretty good one. 10-7 Lions lead in the first quarter. Ezekiel Lang has a receiving touchdown for Southern. We'll also have highlights from that one tonight at 10. The Oklahoma Sooners are 2-0 and up to number 6 in the national rankings. So far, they've played 2 home games, and they've both been blowouts over UTEP and Kent State. Now today, Sooners hit the road to face former league rival Nebraska. It's Oklahoma's first game at Memorial Stadium since 2009. Casey Thompson finds Trey Palmer, 32-yard touchdown for the Huskers. They take the early lead, but then Oklahoma gets going. Dylan Gabriel escapes, space up the middle, then to the outside. Breaks the last few tackles for the 61-yard score. Makes it 7-7. Later in the first, Gabriel goes to the air, finds Jalil Farouk. 25-yard connection gives the Sooners their first lead. Second quarter now, some trickery from Oklahoma. Gabriel to Braden Willis. He comes up throwing to Marcus Major, wide open touchdown. Sooners get to 3-0, rolling by Nebraska 49-14. Kansas State Wildcats at home today, aiming for a 3-0 start against Tulane. K-State, though, suffers their first loss, 17-10. Tulane head coach Willie Fritz, a former Pittsburg State Gorilla, it's his first win over a Power 5 school at Tulane. For the Wildcats, that's the end of non-conference play. They'll be on the road for their Big 12 opener next Saturday against Oklahoma. At the junior college level, big one here tonight in Southeast Kansas. The Independence Pirates host Butler in a top 15 matchup. Indy's ranked 15th in the nation. Butler is number 10. That one will get started at 7 o'clock. The Kansas City Chiefs beat the Los Angeles Chargers 27-24 in their home opener Thursday night. The Chiefs are now 2-0 to begin the season. Also with that win, Patrick Mahomes is now 22-3 against AFC West opponents since he entered the league. Mahomes threw for 235 yards and a pair of touchdowns on Thursday night. But the defense, also pretty good for Kansas City. They had a pick six that was a game changer and really kept the pressure on Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert all night long.
You know, I've got to tell you, I thought our D-line and offensive line battled like crazy. Our defense hit that quarterback, who is a mobile guy and a great player, to where he was a very sore guy by the end of the game. And, you know, I was proud of the guys for that relentless play.
The St. Louis Cardinals are in the middle of a 5-game series with the Cincinnati Reds. And the two teams have split the first 2 games of the series. They're playing a doubleheader today to make up for a rainout from back in July. Here's game 1. Yadier Molina takes Mike Minor deep for the 2-run homer in the third. That is his 5th of the season. Cards go up 5-0. Molina got all of it. Albert Pujols sitting at 698 career home runs. Grounds out here, but he would have a couple more chances in the game. Next at bat, Pujols grounds into the double play. Not happy with himself after that one. Then final at bat. On the ground again, Pujols 0 for 3 with 2 walks, but the Cardinals, they won the game anyways. They beat the Reds 5-1. Well, that's it for sports. We're back with more news after this.
Most people say tomato, well, I say tomato. But what about this thing? Apparently, it tastes, smells, and even looks kind of like a tomato. Makes sense because it is a tomato. It's just purple. The genetically modified produce was developed by a team of scientists and just got USDA approval, clearing the way to be sold at a grocery store near you. And this tomato isn't just pretty in purple. The scientists who made it say it has more antioxidants, and a longer shelf life than garden variety red tomatoes. The next step is to get the thumbs up from the FDA, then it's off to your store shelves.
No thanks.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on that. Let's take a look at the forecast. We're expecting hot weather to continue right on through to Wednesday, a record on Wednesday. Wouldn't be surprised to see other records fall. And then a little taste of fall on Thursday and Friday, but then we go right back to record breaking by next weekend. So what can you say? Summer hangs on.
Yeah, that's the type of year that we've had,
Yep.
but fingers crossed that we get...
Eventually,
Yeah.
we will start to cool down.
Absolutely. Well, that's our time for now. We thank you for making us part of your night. This is your KOAM News at 6, and we'll see you right back here at 10 o'clock.
Salon service